Hello, hello again. Hello, lovelies. I'm Cathelina, your host, your guide, and the voice behind Oracle Audios. I'm also the founder, owner, and the creator of Fiat Lux Apothecary. Before we begin, just a gentle reminder, everything I share here is based on my own experience and study. I've been practicing magic consciously since 2012, and I've been initiated in both Hermetic and Egyptian lineages. My work brings together the tree of life, ritual magic, conjure, and folk traditions from different cultures. I'm a walker between worlds, and I help others remember how to come back to themselves, remember who and what they are. This podcast is part of my Patreon, where I share deeper layers of my work and hold space while others are walking along their path. And if you are just new to the channel or you've been with me for a while, I just want to say thank you for being here. Okay, just to preface, it is allergy season, the pollen count is high, and I am stuffed up. So just so you know, that is what's going on. Oh, we are halfway through the year, people. We are halfway through the year. Can you believe it? We're at the end of June. Wow, this is a great time for us to take some personal inventory. And before I forget, this Oracle audio teaching is for the week of Sunday, June 29th through Saturday, July 5th. And we have upcoming the first quarter moon in Libra on Wednesday, July 2nd, which highlights balance, fairness, and relationship themes. And we also have Uranus enters Gemini on July 7th. And that shift will carry major changes in how we think, communicate, and innovate. It's a longer influence, but it's worth noting now. And also we have Mercury retrograde in Leo begins July 17th and lasts through August 11th. We'll be talking more about that next week. Okay. So the theme of this week's teaching is about how redirection is sacred. And we've talked a lot about this in the teachings and the postings. And we talked about last week just how if you are on a boat and you're off course by just a couple degrees, you can miss your whole target point. Again, this is another layer and nuance of just how redirection is just part of the process. So this week, we're going to be recognizing when effort isn't leading to alignment and how it speaks to how we push forward, why we move the way we do, and how we can get back to a rhythm that feels true. The cards are inviting us to pause and notice where we've been investing our energy. Sometimes the work we've been doing no longer fits who we're becoming. This reading and teaching reminds us that changing direction is not giving up. It's actually a sign of deeper listening. And in Kabbalah, it's about us taking inventory of the fruit on our tree and redirecting and pruning what needs to be pruned. So the cards that were pulled is the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Eight of Cups upright, and the Nine of Wands reversed. So the Eight of Pentacles reversed, Sun in Virgo, the element is Earth, so we're connected to the material world. And in Kabbalah, it's Hod, the sphere connected to intellect and repetition. So when this card is upright, it's about putting in the work, learning a skill, showing up consistently, honoring the process over outcome. The reversed, this energy can start to feel a little rigid. We might be repeating the same thing without getting the result we want. So that's like the definition of insanity. And it can feel like burnout or like we're doing something just because it used to work. not because it still does. So it becomes like an insidious loop. So the sun in Virgo brings focus and refinement, but it can also get stuck in trying to perfect things that no longer serve us. It adds structure and logic, which is helpful, but it can also turn into going through the motions without soul behind it. So, where in your life is this coming up? Are you refining something meaningful or just holding on to what feels familiar? And like I said last week, what's the payoff in that? We're not doing the blame shame game, but like what's the payoff in that? And journal it, investigate, and really just dig into the root. So some affirmations and things to think about. I return to what feels aligned and nourishing. I give myself permission to stop doing what no longer supports my growth. I trust that slowing down helps me reconnect with what matters. And then moving on to the Eight of Cups, upright. So Saturn and Pisces, we have this flowy Pisces with Saturn, which is discipline and constriction. The elements water, so we're connected to emotional and intuition. And this is also, because it's an 8, so it's with Hode. But I feel also it's got like some Bina vibes because we have that emotion. So that deep understanding in Saturn and Pisces, so Saturn, so Bina. This card shows a moment of leaving. It often points to emotional situations where something once felt right, but no longer feels like it's enough. Like, what is it? Even though the cups are still standing, something inside you says, girl, it's time to go. Okay, it's time to go. So Saturn is Pisces, speaks to the tension between structure and surrender. And really that dynamic. There's a pull to move on, even if it's hard to explain. And the system that I'm working with, like I said, the 8s live in Hode. But like I said before, this feels like Bina. Because you're also going to come up with that deep understanding. You have the intuition. And what's interesting is Saturn is traditionally with Capricorn. Capricorn, structure, baby, structure, right? I know some Capricorns in my life, they all about the structure. Saturn, learning from them has been such an amazing experience because it has really brought layers of understanding to my Pisces vibe. So looking at this, bringing that nuance in for my personal gnosis, Capricorn Saturn energy with the Pisces of the Eight of Cups, there's a part of us that doesn't need a reason to let go, but we know that something's run its course. And so how can we really look at that and ask ourselves, what am I still holding on to and why? Again, what's the payoff? Girl, what's the payoff? Why are you holding on to whatever that pattern is? Like, whatever it is, why are you holding on to it? And what would open up if I allowed myself to walk away? Okay? So many opportunities open up when you really let go of what's no longer serving your highest good. And some affirmations. We've got, I trust myself to release what no longer fits. On period. Okay? I allow space for change and emotional honesty. Ooh, so good. I carry only what supports the person I'm becoming. Again, so true. So 9 of Wands reversed. The element fire. Duh. And with some traditions, the knights, the fire aspect, and others see them as air of fire. So just depends on what tradition you're working with. The tree of life, net sock, victory over emotion, which relates to desire, movement, action. So the Nine of Wands reverse, y'all could feel a little scattered. There's energy here, maybe even passion, but it's not focused. You're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But you got you got the zoomies going on. You might be chasing after something quickly without asking if it's really aligned. And even in that, that's okay. You gotta find out, right? You gotta find out what you like by doing something that you figure it out. This kind of movement can burn you out, though. It can leave you wondering why you keep starting things that don't land. And that's okay, too. Like, no shame, blame game. Because it can all lead you to the path that is really fulfilling. So explore with curiosity. And it's this card, like Netsock, is connected to teaching us about longing, emotion, and how we can take action based on what we want. So what's like the vantage point you standing at the top of the Statue of Liberty kind of goal? And you're looking down and you're like looking at all the little things that you could do, all the little paths. But you're up at the top of your goal and you could see how you could get there. Netsock is going to help you move with clarity. And when you're off balance, you might be impulsive to try something out. And that's okay. Have fun with it. But also, like, are you moving from attention or restlessness? And do you know what you actually want right now? And if you don't, that's okay. Explore that further. So some affirmations. I slow down to listen before I act. I give myself space to reconnect with what I truly desire. My energy is valuable. I choose to direct it with care. So, recap. Pentacles is a part of the creative world, ASEA, the material world. So, what we build and hold on to. Okay. Cups belong to the world of Bria. So, this is emotional and intuitive world. Eights typically hold. So, that's all about logic, repetition, and mental clarity. Knights are speaking through Netsock, which is about desire, emotion, and taking action. And depending on what tradition, Knights are either fire of their suit, Golden Dawn, or air of fire, the Raider Weight deck. Either way, they represent movement and transformation. And now I want to talk about the mid-year reflection. It's been 6 months. Is that crazy? Like 6 months in 2025, but it feels like a million freaking years because of everything that's gone on. Especially if you're living in the US. It's bananas here. Truly bananas. Sorry again, I'm stuffed up. These allergies, man. So, with the 6-month check-in, just take some inventory. Have you hit your goals? What are your goals? And the card pull for this week is perfect for just looking at all of that. And just really getting clear on what you want for the rest of 2025. So when you look back, what have you outgrown since January? Where have you shifted in ways that others are noticing? What kind of energy and relationships feel harder to carry now? And what would it mean to fully honor the version of you that's emerging? And on a personal note, the best compliment, I kid you not, but I think they said it because they were frustrated. That's how my interpretation of it was, is best compliment of June was that I've changed. And I was just like, yeah, I've changed. I've totally changed. Totally changed since January. Totally changed. I've gotten clear on my why, on who and what I am. Started using my voice more. Stopped being palatable. So that's the best compliment you could hear when you've really been just working on yourself, bettering yourself, is to hear you've changed from someone. So good. So wrapping this up, this mid-year check-in, just be gentle with yourself. You know, if you haven't hit all your goals, that's okay. If you have, make some new ones. We're all creating, whether we know it or not. So also look at, where are you overworking something that isn't resonating? Where are you afraid to walk away, even though the truth is already settled in your body? And where are you moving too fast to recognize that your desire has shifted? Let the first quarter moon in Libra help you rebalance, reflect on what brings you harmony, what feels fair, and where relationships or habits need reworking. Keep an eye on Uranus entering Gemini next week. We're stepping into new cycles around thinking, speaking, and innovation. And like I said, next week we're going to be talking about Mercury retrograde in Leo. For now, just enjoy the ride, you know? We're on this planet in the middle of space, floating. And you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Enjoy the ride, create some good stuff, help others, help yourself, and remember who and what you are. So until next week, enjoy the challenges of this upcoming week, and get clear on your why. Talk to you later. Toodles.